Ho, ho, ho! We're coming up on the holiday season here, and I want to take a second in the beginning of this video to thank all you guys that have been watching the Uncle Lou channel this football season. I'm a die-hard college football fan. It's my passion, and I still can't believe that as many of you watch me here on LouTube as do. It blows my mind. I'm very, very thankful for each and every one of you, all the subscribers, everybody who likes and comments the videos. A big shout out to all the Patreon members. You guys are amazing. And I can't thank you enough for all the support that you guys show me here on the channel year round. It really, really means a lot to me, and I appreciate it. I don't thank you enough. So I wanted to take a minute here with the holidays coming up and just let you guys know how much it means to me that you watch on this channel here. I seriously cannot thank you enough. And in the spirit of that, we're gonna do some giveaways here during the holiday season. Now, I've been doing a jersey giveaway once a month for Patreon members, right? Every single member on the Patreon page is eligible for a drawing. We do once a month where I give away a jersey of the team of your choice. So whether you're a Georgia fan, Tennessee, South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Auburn, Notre Dame, Ohio State, West Virginia, Oklahoma, whatever the case may be, we do a jersey giveaway once a month for the Patreon members. Any jersey you want. We're gonna step that up a little bit for the holiday season. Every single Friday, from now till Christmas, we're gonna give a jersey away to a Patreon member. So if you're already a member of the Patreon page, we'll do that every single Friday on the live show. I do a live show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Every single Friday show, starting this week, so starting tomorrow, every single Friday show from now through Christmas, we will do a drawing for a jersey giveaway for Patreon members. So if you're not on the Patreon page and you want to join up, now's a great time to do it. Click the link in the description of this video. It'll take you there. If you look in the description of this video, there's a link that says want to win a jersey and support the channel, something along those lines. Click that link. It'll take you over to the Patreon page. You can get yourself signed up. Every single Friday, someone is winning a jersey. Ho, ho, ho. Hey, good morning, it's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right, it's me, Uncle Lou, and I'm live for you on LouTube today. And thanks for watching, I really appreciate it also. And two, in a weekend that really does not have a lot of big-time college football games, I've been able to find a few that are interesting to me, and we're going to talk about those today. Now, on Tuesday, I did a preview of all the SEC games for this coming up week. And on Wednesday, I did a preview of all the top 25 games coming up this week. But like I mentioned, not a whole lot to get excited about this weekend in college football in terms of big ranked matchups within the Power 5 conferences and things like that. There were a few, and I've covered them on Tuesday and Wednesday. But I found some today, some sort of under-the-radar games that I think you guys will be interested in. And one of them that I'm excited to talk about today, and this is a request from a Patreon member, Celine Driver. Good morning, sir. Yale versus Harvard. Now, I know what you're saying. These are two FCS teams who, you might not care about. This game has been played forever. There was a time in college football where this was the biggest game of the year in and year out. Their game from back in 1968, of course, is affectionately referred to as the game. ESPN listed as one of the top 10 college football games of all time. They kick things off again this weekend. We're going to talk about that game today. I also preview every Thursday night NFL game when I do this Thursday video. And we got a pretty good one tonight in terms of teams, Seattle and the Packers. Two sort of disappointing seasons, but two pretty good teams. So I'll preview that game for you tonight too, and 3 or 4 others that I find interesting from this weekend. And we're going to get to those right now. All right, per usual, this preview and prediction video is sponsored by the good people over at betnow.eu. They've been real good to my channel this season. If you guys click the link in the description of this video, it'll take you over there to Bet Now, and they're going to get you set up with all your college football betting needs for the entire season. They've even given me a promo code to let you guys use. So when you get signed up over there, make sure you enter the promo code Uncle Lou. That's one word, all lowercase letters, Uncle Lou, and they're going to give you a bonus on whatever you deposit. Good luck. All right, here we go. I'm going to start with tonight's NFL matchup. You got the Green Bay Packers traveling to take on the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle, home of the 12th man, right? Well, depending on who you ask, Texas A&M claims that too. Green Bay a little disappointing, 4-4. Seahawks not any better, 4-5. Both teams need a win here, really, really bad. Playoff hope starting to dwindle for these two teams. Two premier quarterbacks, right? You got Aaron Rodgers at Green Bay, Russell Wilson over at Seattle. Seattle's a 3-point home favorite in this one. Seattle, one of the best home field advantages in the NFL, in my opinion, right? Crowd really into it there. This one comes on 8 o'clock on Fox. Seattle, second in the league in rushing. I'm going to go with the home team here. I like Russell Wilson. Truth in advertising, he's my starting quarterback on my fantasy team this year, so maybe I'm a little biased here. But I always like Seattle at home. These are two pretty evenly matched teams, in my opinion. Now, Aaron Rodgers is capable of going off at any moment. And if that happens, obviously Green Bay could win this game. But I think Seattle's going to use their dominant run game to kind of slow this game down, try to keep Aaron Rodgers on the sideline. And I think Seattle finds a way to get it done with a pretty good defense and a really good ground game. Give me the Seahawks in this one, and I'll lay to 3. All right, tomorrow night, we have a Friday night game involving a ranked team here. So tomorrow night, 9 o'clock over on CBS Sports Network, you got number 25 Boise State on the road at New Mexico. New Mexico is a terrible team. They're 3-7. Boise State, of course, 8-2. Seems to have a pretty good season every single year for the last 15 years or so. One of the best of the group of 5 teams right now. I know right now everyone's talking about Central Florida, and they have been really, really good over the last couple of years. But Boise State has been consistently good for a long, long time. They're a 19.5-point favorite in this one. I hate taking road favorites during the week on the road. 19.5. Boise State is that much better than New Mexico. I'm going to go with an old gambling truth here and take the primetime home dog. I'm going to take New Mexico, and I need every one of those 19.5 points, though. All right, on to the Saturday games. Noon over on Fox. You got Michigan State taking on Nebraska. Michigan State on the road in this one. They're 6-4. Nebraska 3-7. Michigan State is a 2-point favorite in this one. Two disappointing teams here. Michigan State had, I think, 19 or 20 starters back from a 10-win team last year, expecting big things coming into this season, and they've just been way too inconsistent. They've got some losses that are totally unexplainable. Then they've got some wins where you say, well, how did they win that considering they lost to these other teams? They've just been too up and down. Nebraska, I know Nebraska's been bad for a while, and you bring Scott Frost in, and you're not expecting miracles year one, right? You're not expecting to win the Big Ten year one. But 3-7, I think, is disappointing no matter how you look at it. I mean, they're going to end up having a worse year this year, it looks like, than what they had last year or the year before. And it's hard to justify that, even if you're a huge Nebraska fan and Scott Frost supporter. I'm obviously not a Nebraska fan, but I do like Scott Frost. I think he's a good coach, but it's hard to understand how things have gone this bad year one in Lincoln. I know they're breaking in a lot of new players. They're playing a freshman quarterback, and I think that quarterback will be good down the road next year and the year after. Adrian Martinez, is that his name? But 3-7 is just a tough pill to swallow for Nebraska fans at this point. Michigan State is 2 points better than Nebraska. I know it's a road game for them here, but I'm going to take the Spartans. I just think they're a better team. They should win this game by at least 7 points in my mind. I'm going to take Michigan State, and I'll lay to 2 points here. All right, an ACC matchup also at 12 o'clock. You got NC State, the Wolfpack, going on the road to take on coachless Louisville. Of course, just fired Bobby Petrino. NC State 6-3. They're a 16.5 point road favorite over a 2-8 Louisville team. Louisville has been absolutely terrible. I mean, they're 2-8, and their 8 losses, the majority of them are blowouts that haven't even been close. Just a terrible, terrible season and team all the way around for Louisville. We'll see where they go head coach-wise moving forward, but they're outmatched in this game. NC State's a pretty good team. They started out 5-0, didn't they? I think they did start out 5-0. Now they're 6-3, so they're 1-3 in their last 4 games. Things started to come undone there with the big blowout loss to Clemson. When that was their first loss when they were 5-0. I can't take Louisville. I'm sorry. If I'm going to miss on this game, I've got to miss by picking against Louisville. You just would have to be an idiot in my mind to pick Louisville right now. 16.5 was a lot of points, but I could see NC State winning this game by 3 touchdowns or so. Again, I'm going to take the road favorite. Give me the Wolfpack, lay to 16.5. All right, over to the Big 12, 3:30 on ESPNU. Texas Tech at Kansas State. Texas Tech 5-5. They're a 6-point road favorite against a 4-6 Kansas State team. A lot of road favorites here. Kansas State, a lot of talk there about Bill Snyder and whether or not he should step down after the end of this year. I think it would be hard for Kansas State to fire Bill Snyder just because he's been there for so long. He retired once, what was that, 10 years ago or so? Ended up coming back. The guy's 80-something years old. I mean, he looks like Skeletor. I think it would be in the best interest of Kansas State's program going forward for Bill Snyder to step aside, let a younger, more energetic guy come in and sort of take over. We'll see if that's what happens or not, but there's a lot of pressure within the Kansas State program, local media, things like that, for Bill Snyder to sort of step aside. So we'll keep an eye on that as the season comes to an end here over the next few weeks. Texas Tech, 6 points. Texas Tech, a pretty good offense. Not defensively, they're a Big 12 team. What do you expect? I'm going to take the road favorite again. I think the Bill Snyder thing has become a distraction at Kansas State, and they're just not a very good team. I don't think they're going to make a bowl game this year. Give me the Red Raiders on the road, lay to 6 points. Pac-12 game, the Battle of Los Angeles. Southern Cal at UCLA. Is it really at UCLA? What is this, a 5-minute Uber ride? I don't know, 3:30 over on Fox, though. Southern Cal, what a disappointment this is. 5-5. Geez, UCLA, they've got Nebraska disease. They bring in Chip Kelly. They think this guy's fixing to take them to the promised land. UCLA sitting at 2-8. UCLA and Nebraska, man, you got to feel bad for these fan bases. All the excitement that was generated in the offseason by bringing in these two big-name coaches, Chip Kelly and Scott Frost, and then combined, these two teams don't have enough wins to make a bowl game. That's sad. Southern Cal, 5 wins, so over twice as many as UCLA, but what a disappointing team Southern Cal has been. Listen, Southern Cal is loaded with athletes every single year, especially at the skill positions. I know they're breaking in a new quarterback. I know they lost their leading wide receiver and leading rusher from last year, but 5 losses, and you look at some of these losses, and you can't do anything other than shake your head. This is a huge disappointment. Clay Helton could find himself on the hot seat here. He's had a disappointing run at Southern Cal. There's no other way to describe it. I mean, let's just be real. I don't know if they're ready to part ways with this guy yet or not. If not, though, I guarantee you another season next year like they're having this year, and this guy will most likely be gone. What a disappointment. I'm going to stick with my theme from the majority of this video, though. I'm not a believer. Listen, I can't bet on Nebraska. They're too bad. And I can't bet on UCLA. They're too bad. 3.5 points is not a whole lot of points against a 2-win team, right? Same thing with Michigan State. Michigan State, 2 points against a 3-win Nebraska team. I got to use the same logic and philosophy here. Give me Southern Cal in a rivalry game and lay to 3.5. All right, back to the ACC here. This one, 3:30. A surprisingly good Virginia team on the road against a resurgent Georgia Tech team. Georgia Tech started out rough this season. First month of the season did not go well for Georgia Tech. A lot of the natives were getting restless with the fire Paul Johnson stuff. Of course, I had to go ahead and make a series of videos of how we didn't need that to happen. Uncle Lou supports Paul Johnson 111%. I think this guy deserves a lifetime extension and a huge raise. I want Paul Johnson to stay at Georgia Tech forever. He deserves it, and let's be real, who else is Georgia Tech going to get? I couldn't support Paul Johnson anymore. I've been on the Georgia Tech bandwagon ever since they started talking about firing Paul Johnson because I don't need that to happen. They're a 7-point home favorite over Virginia. Virginia 7-3, Georgia Tech 6-4. Somebody's not buying into Virginia. I'm not either. Give me Georgia Tech late to 7. Hey, Georgia Tech. Uncle Luke got some stuff for you next week. Don't get caught looking ahead against Virginia, though. But next week, though, reality. All right, let's stay with the ACC here and talk about another one of Uncle Lou's favorite punching bags. The Miami Hurricanes on the road at Virginia Tech, 3:30 on ESPN. Again, 2 disappointing teams. These were 2 teams that were picked in the offseason to potentially challenge Clemson for ACC supremacy this year. That ain't happening. Miami 5-5, Virginia Tech 4-5. 2 really disappointing teams here. When was the last time Miami even won a game? It's been a while. They are not happy down there with the football Jesus, Mark Richt. It's hilarious, too. I made a whole series of videos when Miami hired Mark Richt, and I explaining to everyone down there what they were getting. No one believed me. I was an idiot. Georgia was the problem, not Mark Richt. Well, look at you now. You're having a worse season at Miami, Mark Richt is, than he ever had at UGA. So seems like Georgia ain't the problem. In fact, maybe Mark Richt ain't the problem either. Maybe it's Miami. Miami, a team that has never won the ACC, only won their division in the ACC one time, and when they did, they got absolutely boat raced in the ACC title game. Virginia Tech, a very young team. Boy, people thought Virginia Tech was good when they beat Florida State week 1. You remember that? God, that seems like years ago, doesn't it? But that was week 1. That was the opening weekend Labor Day game. Remember on Monday night? Huge matchup. Virginia Tech on the road at FSU. Virginia Tech gets the big win. Fast forward till now. That win don't look so impressive. Florida State, one of the worst teams in America. God awful. Add Willie Taggart to the Scott Frost and Chip Kelly list, would you? What a disappointment that's been. But anyway, I digress. Miami on the road at Virginia Tech. Miami's a 5.5-point favorite. That seems strange, don't it? Now, this is a game that either team could win, honestly. Miami fans tell me it's too cold to play anywhere above South Carolina, basically. Don't really understand that, considering Miami was in that podunk league called the Big East. They dominated it. Of course, now they moved to a real division, a Power 5 conference, and can't get anything done and want to blame the weather. I don't know. 5.5 just seems like too many to give a team that hasn't won since. When was the last time they won? It's been a month ago or so. I could see either way. I could see this going either way. 5.5, I think, is a little too many for two bad teams here. So for that reason, I'm going to take the home team, and I'm going to go with the Hokies. Give me the 5.5. All right, and last but not least, again, shout out to Patreon member Celine Driver. He requested this game weeks ago, and I told him I would make sure and do this preview on the Thursday before this game was played, and that's what I'm going to do. Harvard at Yale. I mentioned in the beginning, this used to be one of, if not the biggest game in college football year in and year out. Now, I know this was decades ago, but the point is, if you're a real die-hard college football fan, right, there's a couple of games that you'll watch, even though you know the teams in 2018 just aren't very good. And I think this is one of them, right? You can add Army-Navy to that list. A lot of people watch that Army-Navy game, even though they really don't know anything about the teams themselves. It's just one of those games in college football that if you're, like I said, if you're a huge fan, you tend to watch it. This is one of those games. Now, both these teams are 5-4, neither having a great season. Harvard's won 2 in a row. Yale lost their last game. This one comes on TV, ESPN2, so you better check it out, 12 o'clock on Saturday. Yale won last year 24-3. This game's played at Fenway Park, too. So you got 2 games at baseball stadiums this week in the Northeast, right? You got Notre Dame and Syracuse playing at Yankee Stadium, and you got Harvard and Yale playing at Fenway Park. That 1968 Harvard-Yale game, right, referred to as the game. One of the greatest college football games of all time. ESPN did a top 10 list not too long ago, and they had this game within the top 10. Harvard scored 16 points in the last 42 seconds of that game, and ended up the game ended in a 29-29 tie. Anyway, one of the best games in history. Similar to the Army-Navy game, I hate picking against anybody to win or lose this game. I mean, these two teams are filled with kids who, I mean, let's just be real. Chances are none of these guys are ever going to play in the NFL, and they know that. And most likely, that's not even their goal to start with. These people are there for education first, obviously. I'm going to go with the home team here, even though it's not a home game. It's at Fenway Park, not in a home stadium. I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to take Yale. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I'm just hoping for a good game here with no injuries, honestly. But this will be a good game. And like I said, it's one of those games, if you're a diehard college football fan, you just have to watch it. Harvard versus Yale. Give me Yale! Woo! All right, that's it for the previews this week. Again, I really appreciate all you guys that have watched this season, and keep watching during the off season too. This channel is year round. This isn't just a channel for college football season. I post these pointless videos every single day of the year round. When football season ends, we talk a little bit of basketball, but we stick with football year round. You got signing day, spring games, summer camps, fall camps. We cover football here year round, and I really, really appreciate you guys who watch this channel, all the subscribers, all the Patreon members, all the comments, the thumbs up, the shares that you guys give me on these videos. I really cannot thank you enough, and I wish I could do more to express my gratitude to you guys for watching, but the one jersey a week from now till Christmas, I think is a pretty good way for me to show that everyone wants or likes college football jerseys, right? Or maybe you want a basketball jersey, whatever you want. Anyway, every Friday at the 3 o'clock live show, we're going to give a jersey away from now through Christmas. Again, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a good morning.